And that would go 15 feet closer than it currently is?
Correct, maximum.
Sir, if you'd like to step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
Matthew Carlosari, address is 9155 Morris Place. That's Crown Point, Indiana, 46307.
And so you're looking for it to be 15 feet from the
Oh,
property
yes.
line?
So right now, it's in line with the home. It's approximately 30 feet from the sidewalk. I'd like to extend it 10 to 15 feet further. So that'd be putting it 15 to 20 feet from the sidewalk.
Again, it's just because he's on a corner lot, per
Yep.
se. Any other home would be fenced to the property line, 1 foot off, so.
Correct.
You want to open the public hearing and then?
Yeah, I'll now open it up to public hearing, if anybody wants to address the board. Nobody?
I received nothing prior to the meeting either.
No.
No written
No letters?
communication. No, sir.
Okay. Well, at this time, we're gonna close public hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance, allowing the petitioner to go as close as 15 feet to from the back of the sidewalk with their fence.
I have a motion.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Let's take a vote. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Say variance passes 3-0. Thank you, Mr. Carlosari.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
No problem. I will move on to the next. B, 2024-20, developmental variance from St. John to allow for the construction of a third accessory structure that will be 12 foot by 16 foot for a total accessory structure size of 1,526 square feet in a R1 zoning district at 12425 West 85th Avenue, St. John, Indiana, 46373. Scott Pekowitz is the owner. You want to come on up and...
Oh, sure. Oh, do you need me to come with you? Yeah, I just wanted to build another.
You want to state your name and
Oh,
address?
Scott Pekowitz, 12425 West 85th Ave, St. John, Indiana, 46373. Yeah, I've lived there probably 40 years. I got over an acre, and I just wanted another little bit of storage for, I'm getting a little older, the attic, basement for lawn furniture and grandkids such. Just want to buy another shed and put it in the backyard.
So this variance is for a third accessory structure. He does currently have an existing detached garage that was built in 1950 and another detached shed back here. So if the variance is granted, it would give him a third accessory structure. He's proposing for it to be along this side of the property, and that would give him a total square footage of 1,526 square feet. As he has stated, he is over an acre, and it wouldn't even put him close to the lot coverage.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Pekowitz?
Not really, I think.
Okay, well, this time I'm going to open it up to public comment. Open the floor to public comment. Does anyone have anything to say?
Nothing received on
No
this one?
letters?
No, sir.
Can you go back to the site plan, Ashley? Up to, right there, yeah.
Apparently the computer feels like different.
So you want to go 30 feet off 85th and have it out in front of your home?
Oh, no, it's way in the back.
Okay, because
That was another
this is
question.
showing it 30 feet from your front property line.
No, that's my next door neighbor's area. The front of my house is 85th, which would be way up front.
Yeah,
And that's way,
So you want it 30 feet from your rear property line then, right?
that would be my neighbor's property line, and then where the arrow is there, that's my back, my neighbor behind me. So that's all the
Well,
way in the
the
back of
top
my
of the
property.
drawing is 85th, and then the right side is Matson
Yes.
with your frame garage.
Correct. But, you know, where I have that, there's a neighbor behind me, or on the side.
Yeah.
But the front of your home faces 85th, correct?
Correct.
And you're looking to put the shed closer to 85th?
No, it's all the way in back.
Because that's where it's.
Well, look at the drawing on the screen.
Well, that doesn't seem right then.
So you want it 30 feet from this bottom corner, right? And 12 and 16?
Well, that's another question. I just don't know how long or far I need it away from the property line, because I could
Well,
put it anywhere.
It would,
But it's all the way in the back on the southwest side of my property. And my face of my house
yeah, the
is-
southwest corner is where the purple cursor is right now. So yeah, if you're
Oh, that would
proposing to
be-
come
that would
30
be
up.
southeast, believe it or not.
Well,
No.
no, there's the North Meridian on the right side of the drawing.
Well, maybe I drew it in the wrong spot, but it's actually in the southwest corner, and there's nothing happening back there. There's over an acre.
That's the house.
It's currently drawn between your home and 85th.
This should have been drawn.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was.
That's what we're
yeah.
asking, yes.
This should have, I'm looking at this, because actually when I was reading this whole thing, I thought this looks really strange. Because if this is off of 85th, then it would be like in the front of our house.
Yeah, because it's.
Because that's our front porch.
Yep.
Okay, and then this is the garage, and it's gonna be back in this area.
That's what
Okay,
we're trying to.
that's what we were
confirm.
hoping for. Yeah.
Well, maybe I misunderstood. I have to apologize.
And this is Matson, so that's the garage, and it's gonna be back here. I'm so
Okay.
sorry that this was drawn this way. I told you. So it would be here.
Okay. Yeah. So it'd be 30 feet up from the bottom, and then 12 and 16 over. Okay.
Well, that was another question. How far off the property line do I have to go? Because I'll put it anywhere. I mean,
You have to be 5 foot minimum
Oh, that's
from
it?
a property
Okay.
line with a shed. Yep.
Gotcha.
See?
I thought
So
it was
yeah,
a little
that
bit
30
more.
off the back and the 12 and 40. I don't have any heartburn about that, but it was just
Okay.
that it's technically in your front yard the way it's drawn now.
Oh, no, it's definitely not in the front yard.
Does he have any utility easements running in the rear? Because that would put him at 10, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but he doesn't have an easement there. That's an
Okay.
older part that doesn't have rear yard easements.
Right.
And you said no remonstrance letters, anything sent in?
No, sir.
All right, at this time, I'll close it from public comment.
All right. Given the explanation of it being in the rear yard, I'll make a motion to approve the variance request.
I'll second.
We got a motion in a second. Go ahead and,
All in favor, say
all in
aye.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
You guys are the best. Thanks.
All right, we're gonna move to C, 2024-21, developmental variance from St. John to allow for the construction of 2 accessory structures, a shed that is 12.71 feet by 16 feet, and a greenhouse that is 12.71 feet by 16 feet in the R2 zoning district at 9070 Parish Avenue. Yona and Dream Homes is the applicant, and the owner is David Parcham. Wanna-
I'm Ryan Young, and I'm here on behalf of David Parcham.
Address, please.
The
Ryan.
address is 9070 Parish Avenue in St. John.
So what they're requesting is to put in a greenhouse and a shed, same size, with the shed supposing to be an accessory to the greenhouse. They will be located behind the house. Here's Parish here. And the reason why they would need is because we only allow for 160 for a shed, and both of those would be over the allowable amount of square footage for accessory structure buildings. kind of where the stakes are is going to be where they're going to be located.
Do we have any letters?
No written remonstrance received. I'd still open it up to anybody but present.
Okay. All right, at this time, I'm gonna open it up, the floor up to public comment.
I'm the neighbor to.
Can you come up to the podium and,
Hi.
Name and address, please.
Yep, Mary Basaga, 9149 Deodore Street. I don't have any objections to the additions. I just have a request. So when you do the survey, we have had 2 surveys done that the metal stake in the southeast corner of the property has been removed. And we've tried to use metal detectors to find it, and we can't. My guess is maybe landscapers or whatnot. But there's a little bit of a question of where that property line is. So I just request when you do the survey that metal stakes are put in so that we can assess the southern portion. I know it's away from where you're putting the, by the way, I know it's, yeah, it's away from where we are. I just wanted to see if there was easement, if it was going to be closer to our south property line.
you just request that they use rebar rather than plastic stakes?
Yeah, and then once we see where that is, then we can create more of a permanent structure right there.
I think that's something the homeowner would have to request from the surveyor, am I correct?
That would be correct.
Is that something reasonable we can ask?
Yeah, of the
Do we just
homeowner.
have to
That's not
reach-
something we can enforce.
So we have to then just reach out to the homeowner?
Correct,
Got it.
correct.
Okay, perfect. That's it.
That's it?
Thanks.
Anybody else for public comment? Based on her request, if this passes, maybe that's something that you can relay to the homeowner and request on the survey.
Absolutely. It's not a problem at all.
Okay. All right, that's all I got. At this time, I'm gonna close it to public comment.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance to allow the shed and greenhouse on the property at 9070 Parish Avenue.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to D. 2024-22, developmental variance from St. John to allow for an addition onto an existing structure approximately 10 feet from the side yard property line in a zoning district at 10770 Joliet Street, St. John, Indiana, 46373. Robert Mendoza is the owners. Robert,
Robert Mendoza, 10770 Joliet Street in St. John.
Mr. Mendoza is seeking to add on this proposed addition back here on his existing building off of Joliet in one of our industrial zoned area in the town. The way the building was built originally, it was for a 10-foot side yard setback. It was built back way before this current ordinance, I think 1970s, if I remember the assessor's report card correctly. What he's asking is for a variance and a reduction in side yard setback from the 30-foot required by ordinance for an industrial zoned area to 10 foot to match the existing building.
any letters?
No written remonstrance received.
No written letters. All right, at this time, I'm gonna open the floor to public comment. Looks like we have no public comment, so I'm gonna close the floor to that. You guys got any questions?
No, it looks like the existing building's in the same place, so I
So
mean,
I
it
mean,
makes,
it's
it makes
matching what
sense,
he
yeah,
has.
it makes sense to
Makes
match what you
sense.
got, yeah, rather than jog it to meet the setback, so.
Mr.
It would
Mendoza
look
did
funny
show
to
me
make John, yeah.
that their covenants actually had, all the buildings had to be 10 feet. It just wasn't something that was recorded with the plat or the subdivision.
And not keeping it uniform would look odd, to be honest, so. All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the developmental variance for 10770 Joliet Street.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to E, 2024-23, developmental variance from St. John to allow for the construction of a second sign that is 51.2 square feet to be located 5 feet from the property line and for a height of 15 feet and height above the curb line in a R2 in US 41 overlay zoning district at 9330 Wicker Avenue, St. John, Indiana, 46373. St. John Evangelist Parish is the owner. And you're already up.
Good evening. Thank you, members of the board. My name is Jim Maciejewski, representing St. John the Evangelist Parish, address 9330 Wicker Avenue in St. John. We're seeking three developmental variances for the construction of a masonry sign with a digital display. The sign is designed to play off of the design of the church, the day chapel on the corner, with the institution of the brick and the stone and the dome at the top to mimic the dome over our bell tower. We're seeking a variance to allow the sign to be 5 feet from the property line instead of 10 feet. That is to try to get the sign a little bit closer. We are, even as at 5 feet, we'll end up being approximately 23 feet back from the curb. We're seeking a variance for 51.2 square feet of the screen size of the sign to be proportionate so that people could read it from both directions. And we're seeking a variance on the allowable height from the sidewalk of 15 feet. It is our belief that the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare of the community, that the use and value of the adjacent areas, adjacent properties included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, and that the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. We're hoping to construct a sign to eliminate the use of any temporary signs on that corner. The sign is positioned in the far southeast corner of the current parking lot in front of the day chapel, and I believe you have a rendering of it in your package.
I don't have any problems with it. I like these. All right, at this time, I'm gonna open up the floor to public comment. Can you go back to the street view?
Which one would you like?
From the corner at 93rd, I think you had one, didn't you?
That was
Maybe
the
it was
first
that
one up
That
at
was
the
the
top.
first one, yeah. Only question I have is the view for vehicles. Is it gonna be blocking the view?
I mean, I think they said it'd be 5 off the wall, or let's look at, oh, right there, yeah. So it'd be 16'7" off the back of the
Off
walk.
the back of the walk should be plenty of room.
Yeah. I mean, it'd almost be in line with that log
Yeah.
cabin that's there.
Yeah.
Because if they're, yeah, I mean, it'd almost be by the
Fourth-
flagpole, yeah.
Fourth car west isn't turning, so
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with it. I
No,
actually like the
neither
look
do
of it. All right, no public comment, obviously. I'm gonna close
Nothing
the floor.
received.
Nothing?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna close the floor at this time to public comment.
I'll make a motion to approve the developmental variance requests for the sign at 9330 Wicker Avenue.
I'll second.
I have a motion, and I have a second. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
All right, let's go on to 6, new and old business. Zoning ordinance amendment for public hearing requirements.
So as discussed at our last meeting, there was discussion on updating and changing our regulations for the rules and regs for the BZA and seeking change to the zoning ordinance to reduce the required amount of newspaper publications from 2 to 1, a minimum of 10 days prior to the public hearing, for notice to be given to adjacent property owners. So instead of that 300-foot radius, we're going to drop it to adjacent property owners. We're going to keep the sign requirement, and then we're going to add a new requirement of the town will then be posting all legal notices on the town's website, so it's visible for any and all citizen of the town or anybody who goes to the town website to see any upcoming projects that are required to be legally noticed. Attorney Decker here did go through and update that language here and put that language in here. When I reviewed it, it all looked as discussed and as seemed interested by the Board of Zoning Appeals. This has been talked about with the Plan Commission and Town Council as well.
I like it. Thanks for your hard work, Adam.
You're welcome.
It's actually ironic trying to get the public hearing through for the town. I'm actually having trouble with the newspaper.
It's about time we get with the times anyway.
Paper times or the Times times?
The times. The problem is getting it into the times.
They would need to, would there be action, Adam?
Well, so eventually, you will need to update the rules and regulations for the BZA. That won't be done tonight, because we'll need to complete the process for the changes. I think I would recommend that you go ahead and consider approving a motion to approve these proposed changes. It's not formally required. It is for the Plan Commission. It's going to be required to approve those and then hold a public hearing. But for the BZA, I think a vote just confirming that that's what the BZA, members of the BZA want to do would be appropriate.
Okay. We can do that this evening. Is that something we can do this evening, Adam?
I think you can. It's on the agenda and you
Yeah.
have a quorum.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the public hearing requirements.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sounds like we have 3-0 to approve the zoning ordinance amendment for public hearing requirements. All right, at this time, we'll move to any public comment. If anybody in the room has any public comment? All right. Well, at this time, I'd like to adjourn this evening's meeting.
So moved.